What's going on, everyone? Back with the weekly updates of what's happening with the businesses. Starting off with Temper Tantrum. This past weekend, we started week two of session two of our training. Day one of the training. This session, we are focusing on choreography, Vogue, and house. A lot of fun, intense. One of the main things that I'm really like seeing benefit from this training and kind of slowing down from the performances is that we are getting better at the technique. We're getting better at looking alike in the dancing. We're getting better with retention. We're expanding the vocabulary and what the dancers can do. Albeit not everyone's going to do Vogue, not everyone's going to dive deep into house, but we're learning bits and pieces of vocabulary and what I would think is going to be a well-rounded dancer. Particularly what we learned from I'm glad we got to do some jazz, hip hop foundation from the first session, and now we're pushing it a little bit more to other different styles this session. So yeah, feeling pretty good about that. We were actually booked for an event on the 28th. Unfortunately, it got canceled because the CEO of that event decided to no longer include additional acts. But we were prepared. I'm glad that in a very, very tight window of getting a number together, we were able to book rehearsal space, have numbers ready, and have dancers ready. It shows that, come hell or high water and whatnot, we'll be ready for a performance, which is essentially the main thing that we're trying to do with this training. We want to get to a point where the dancers feel good, that they can pick up a routine in one day and perform. Or if it's going to be a 15-minute, 30-minute show, we can probably get it in a few days and then be ready to go. We want to be able to create and deliver in a short time, especially in this day and age of AI, social media, and just instant gratification. Speed is going to be important, but also keeping the quality with it as well, which is why we're slowing down to do the training. Along with that, I have two meetings tonight in regards to Temper Tantrum. One is with a music studio owner, in which we're going to be doing something for Temper Tantrum Versus, which is something, it's Temper Tantrum, the dance company. The members are doing something completely outside of the realm of dance, and essentially us doing a sort of challenge style video, and we're going to try to iron out the details for that in terms of when can we do it, who'd be down, what can we do, what can't we do. The other meeting that I have is going to be for the screening that we want to do for a short film. We want to see what are the possible ways we can try to make it happen. I'm also aware of Cha-Cha also that some other members have rehearsals for the other sister company for Temper Tantrum as well. Okay, so for Emeroy TV, not much happening this week. It's kind of what I consider homeostasis, where there's a good amount of videos going out right now that I don't have to worry about it too much, but a lot is still being created and still being scheduled. But it's not in a point where I need to put something out right away. I think I have a little bit of a buffer before I start putting videos again. So there's plenty of tutorials, reactions, awkward tea party podcasts coming out. Next week I'll be working on client videos all week, and then the week after that I'll probably pick back up on working on reactions. I think the main thing with that is, as much as I'm trying to build a YouTube channel, it is also essential for me to try to balance how I approach it. Because if I were trying to do a video every single day, I probably would have to abandon or maybe give less time to all the other things that I'm involved in, which would be fine if Emeroy TV were the primary thing. But doing this, doing the buffer episodes or adding a buffer, scheduling things out weekly, and spacing it out, for me honestly helps me with my own sanity, and trying to balance not just the different businesses but also the relationships, me being a dad, traveling and whatnot. So yeah, I think the main thing is I just want to make sure that I'm able to execute at a high level, or at least a decent level, without doing the whole YouTuber burnout thing. I think earlier this year there was a lot of YouTubers just quitting, and I get it. When the demand for excellence and for a product starts overtaking your own personal life and mental health, I think that's where it becomes a problem. I think it's having harmony in what your vision and the vision for your life is I think that's what has to help dictate the actions and the priorities. So as much as I put a lot of time in work, I want to make sure that the relationships and the people that I care about equally get the time. That's the part that fulfills my life, makes me feel grounded, and honestly inspires me to keep going. And because a lot of this is motivated because I want to do something great with them and for them. So next is Emeroy, me as the professional dancer side. I came back from an audition about an hour ago. I can't really disclose what it is. It sounds like the event is some sort of corporate event for Disney, but we'll see. They didn't really get into too much details. It was a fairly short routine. It was about 2 or 3 A counts, which is maybe about 15 seconds of choreography, and they taught it like 20 minutes. The best way I can describe the style of choreography, I'd say family friendly, big pictures. Nothing too intricate. No 1E and a 2E yet. No, it's very whole counts. 1, 2. Very clean and easy to read and understand. But it was still a lot of fun. The whole point of that choreography. It just seems like it's supposed to be entertaining. I personally think I killed it. I personally think I killed the choreography. I killed my freestyle. I have a lot of confidence in that aspect. But we'll see if I match with what they're looking for. Because a lot of it really just comes down to like not just the skill, but do you fit the bill of what they're looking for? Because also not only that, they're also doing callbacks tomorrow to see like who looks good together in terms of pairs or in terms of a group. So it's not just it doesn't always just come down to school. And then I understand it's part of the business. So and not only that, everyone there was also like half a head to a head taller than me. I think the average height in that room today was about 5'9", but I held it down. I know the main thing for that audition, me being I'd say shorter and then also maybe a little older than everyone, was I had to bring the energy, I had to execute, I had to give it all my effort, and I feel like I did. I hit my signatures on point, my freestyle was on point. That's all I can really control, despite there being like height differences and whatnot. I just can dance as big as possible, execute as much as I can, try to outdance the much taller people. Much love to everyone who's auditioning as well, but this is just like these are the cards I'm dealt with as a dancer, so this is what I've got to do, and these are the things that's in my control. So also I think this Friday or the 21st got a couple more last 2 performances with Six Flags. I think the main thing that all the dancing stuff as well is not just being able to do the thing. It's both the before and the after in the craft. It's how are you preparing, how are you taking care of your body before and after, what are you eating, how are you sleeping, the preparation, and then how are you recovering. I think last week when I performed for Six Flags, I think it was one of my rougher weeks. I don't think I got enough rest. I think one of the things I didn't do a good job in is just giving myself a good mental space of just turning my brain off, so to speak, in terms of work. I worked probably until I had to go to Six Flags, and then mentally I was already pretty tired, and which kind of affected my performance. The week before, I let myself sleep in to have to get a little bit more sleep because I worked late the previous night, and then I think I worked a little bit, maybe 1 or 2 hours, and then it let my brain just kind of drift and not worry about so much about the work I needed to do, and I had a great night. So it's also like I'm learning like the mental load going into it, because it can affect the performance. But that either way, that shouldn't be the thing that holds you back. If you work on your craft, you should still be able to execute at a high level, but that's not to say like the mental aspect of the game still does play an important part. In terms of Vision Paradox, this week I'll be filming with Max for a client who does security work at an event. We'll be filming a lot of their stuff for social media. We'll be filming behind the scenes, answering questions, asking questions, and also asking questions of the client that they're working with. It's for a festival, so it's going to be pretty busy. But one of the things that I've been wanting to do with this particular client is show them doing the work, especially since their service what they're selling is a service. So the main thing I want to sell and show on their social media is not just them answering the questions of why they are experts, but I want to show them in field with the client how they're dealing with things. It might even be like almost like a mini vlog or documentary of this is the particular event. What are the challenges that they're expecting to face this day? How are they dealing with it? The actual interactions with people and the clients and their employees, and to see this is what it's like working with them. Because I think the best way of selling your service is to show what you've done with the people that you've worked with, and I think that's going to be key with a lot of their content strategy. So I think we're going to be able to knock out a whole bunch of different things there, from, like I said, the behind the scenes Q&A, testimonials, a whole overall story vlog documentary with the whole experience of like before and after. So I'm excited for that one. Another one is a former client of ours who was also a comedian decided to hit us up, and we're going to be working together again. They had to stop working because their day job is that they're a lawyer, and they had to focus on that for a bit. You know, like they had to take care of more clients, and then we had to slow down for a bit. But they're down also agreed to new terms. Now it's just a matter of sitting down and ironing out the details, which will be happening either tomorrow or on Monday. But it's a for sure yes. It's more so like let's figure out the game plan of what we're going to execute. So last thing is Ochacha, which is they have probably a couple weeks until their show. They've had extra rehearsals this week. Yesterday, say Wednesday, 2 nights ago, Tuesday, they had additional rehearsals for, I think, their maid crew. And I'm still new to the anime cafe scene for these conventions, but the maid crew or department, and either way, they had their rehearsals to finish up their day show. Looks great. The dancers that were picked for this particular group, fantastic. The choreography I think is super entertaining, and I think they're actually going to be having an additional rehearsal tonight from 8 to 11 between both the maids and the butlers. And the goal for them is really just to have everything at least done, so that way in the next rehearsal they're just cleaning. Because the show is in a couple weeks, and I think they probably have 1 or 2 rehearsals left. So, and I think just goes to show, just with that, sometimes even if you give your best, sometimes it's not enough. I had the opportunity to work with them a couple rehearsals ago, and I sure as hell gave my best to get them to a point where my goal was to have everything done, but the circumstances made it very hard to do so. There were some people missing. I had less time than I thought, and it wasn't an ideal situation to get it done. I gave it my best, but it wasn't done. So sometimes you have to do what is required, and what is required sometimes means you need to give more than your best. Because like I said, I gave my best. I probably got a minute 15 of the routine blocked, and not only blocked, I had to teach someone else the choreography from the ground up, and make sure that they're getting it as well, and not overwhelming them. Because this routine that we were teaching them is not just crowd friendly; it is very choreographically. It's very dense. There's a lot of like intricacies to pick up. So you can imagine how much you have to try to do within an hour. But again, sometimes you got to give more than your best. Sometimes what is required is more than your best, and if you're willing to meet that and to do what is required, I think you'll put together a great project, a great service, and a great show. And I think what they're doing right now, it's going to be leading to a great show, especially since it's going to be their first time, kind of like their debut show. And I think the main and important thing for them is to knock it out of the park, get a good experience. Not only that, film it, get some content, get some people talking about it, and then show that this is a good proof of concept, so that there's something to build off of. So that's it. Decided to try to sprinkle lessons throughout everything instead of one overall encapsulating lesson. That's it for the lesson. I got to get ready for this meeting, which is happening in like 5 minutes. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.